It's cooling off outside, so there's no better time for some indoor sports to get started up. Basketball season is finally upon us, and both the men's and women's teams are kicking off their seasons this weekend. The women's team is down in Oklahoma, taking part in the Central Region Challenge. First up on Friday, the squad takes on Washburn, and then will battle Central Oklahoma in their Saturday game. This is a Husky squad that has 12 players returning from what was an injury-ridden 2024. Most notably, forward Ashley Sawicki was injured just 3 games into last season. Sawicki received all NSIC second team honors in her last full season, but last season when she went down, other Huskies were forced to step up, and they did in a big way. Alana Zarnecki had a big year, averaging 11 points on 39% from 3 on her way to a second team all NSIC nod. The team will, of course, lean heavily on senior guard Jada Egerbrecht once again after she was selected to her 3rd straight all-conference team last season. This team will be better than the 500 record in the NSIC that they finished with last season, and the conference knows it as they were selected 5th in the coaches' preseason poll. But the freight train that is the St. Cloud State volleyball team kept rolling Tuesday night as they hosted Sioux Falls in their opening match of the NSIC tournament. Sioux Falls was no standard opening round opponent either, as they were the only one of 3 teams in St. Cloud to take St. Cloud past the mandatory 3 sets since September 20th in their first matchup on October 4th. Despite that, the Huskies grabbed their 16th sweep in the last 19 matches while being led by the usual suspects. Kenzie Foley and Ella Thompson had 15 and 13 kills respectively, but it was Shelby Kim who put together an incredible all-around performance with 9 kills, 11 digs, and 3 aces. Huskies will continue their quest for an NSIC title on Saturday against Northern State. St. Cloud did earn a sweep in the squad's only matchup of the year, but did so by slim margins, with Northern State crossing over the 20-point mark in all 3 sets. Also on the diamond this past weekend, the baseball team had 4 matchups against Sioux Falls. Huskies started the weekend looking as strong as any team ever could, dominating the Cougars 17-5, highlighted by Wilmus Castro's 2 of 4 hitting and 4 RBIs. It was a doubleheader on Saturday. In the opening game, St. Cloud went from 17 runs the day before to only 5 hits. The Huskies couldn't string together those hits and fell 3-1 to open Saturday. In the second matchup of the day, St. Cloud offense started slow again, but exploded for 6 runs in the 6th inning, including a 2-run blast by Braden Jacobson that propelled the Huskies to a 10-5 victory. In the final duel between the 2 teams on Sunday, the Huskies took an early lead, going up 2-1 into the bottom of the 3rd inning, but then the Cougars put together a run. 4 runs in the 3rd, 2 more in the 4th. A solo home run by Ryan Gouldine in the 5th put the Cougars ahead 8-3, and the Huskies had no answers. Cougars win 11-5, leaving the series a 2-2 tie. St. Cloud will return to action Friday against Mankato.
Welcome back to UTVS News. In the Sports Center today, we have Luke Pater. Luke, how are the Huskies doing?
It's been an absolutely incredible fall season so far for SCSU, and the winter seasons are following suit. The men's hockey team is off to a 3-0 start and look to continue their winning ways with their trip out to Michigan this weekend against the Wolverines. The teams will face off on Friday and Saturday in the team's first matchup in Michigan since 2002. This hasn't been a favorable matchup for the Huskies, still looking for their first win in the series history. St. Cloud is getting even more production out of reigning NCHC Rookie of the Week Austin Bernovic, may just be the secret ingredient they need to take down these Wolverines. Bernovic put together a weekend to remember against Bemidji State, burying 3 goals and tallying 2 assists, earned Bernovic the weekly honor. Bernovic was a stellar +4 on the ice and ranked 2nd in goals and 6th in points in the NCHC. He's the first Husky to score his first 2 collegiate goals in the same game since Zach Akabe scored his first 4 goals against Minnesota State all the way back in 2019. Meanwhile, the women's team has been dominant. Their 6-0 start is best in program history, but this weekend the Huskies are going to face a jump in competition. The number 2 ranked team and defending national champion Ohio State Buckeyes are coming to the Herb Brooks National Hockey Center for a pair of matchups tomorrow and Saturday. St. Cloud will need their stellar goaltending that's compiled 3 straight shutouts to carry the team this weekend. Sania Hola and Amelia Carrico have a combined .5 goals allowed average and a .974 save percentage. Over at Husky Stadium, the men's soccer team is out for revenge after a disappointing past weekend. They'll start on Friday with a rematch against Davenport, the same squad that they fell to 2-1 just 4 days ago. Then on Sunday, the Huskies will host Saginaw Valley State, who gave them their worst loss of the season this past Friday in a 3-0 drumming. St. Cloud will need to recover their offensive touch to change the outcome against these clubs. The Huskies have only managed 2 goals in the past 3 games, despite averaging over 3 goals per game in the previous 11 games prior to that run. Staying on the field, the women's soccer team has hit a bit of a rough patch, and yet they haven't lost a single game. After a 6-2 start to the season, St. Cloud has now tied their last 4 matchups. The Huskies will have a golden opportunity to get back in the win column when they host MSU Moorhead on Friday. The Dragons are a lowly 1-9-2 and have only managed 4 total goals all season. St. Cloud will follow that up with a battle against Northern State on Sunday. The key to Huskies getting back on track is the return to form of Ellie Primerano and Lindsay Trapino. After combining for 6 goals in the first 6 games of the season, which led to a 5-1 record, the duo have only managed 1 goal since then, which has resulted in a 1-1-4 run for the Huskies. But on the hard court, the volleyball team is on an absolute tear, with a win streak that now spans 10 games, including 5 against ranked opponents and 3 wins against top 10 teams. During this streak, Kenzie Foley has set 3 different Huskies records. She's now the all-time points and kills leader in a Huskies career and has the single-game kill record at 34. This unstoppable force is in Duluth tonight to go up against the Bulldogs. The Huskies beat Duluth 3-0 back in Hallenbeck Hall on October 1st. St. Cloud will then host Bemidji State on Saturday. Bemidji State is still winless in conference play and is currently on a 7-game losing streak. Well, it's shaping up to be another great weekend in Husky sports. Back to you guys. Yeah, I'm going to start out on the courts where it is national tournament time for the St. Cloud State volleyball team. Fresh off repeating as NSIC champions, the Huskies are right now in Nebraska. They'll be taking on Missouri Western in the opening round of the NCAA tournament. St. Cloud has won 7 in a row coming into this match, including 3 straight ranked wins over Southwest Minnesota State, Wayne State, and Concordia St. Paul, all of those in the NSIC tournament. The Huskies offense is simply on fire, currently tied for first in the nation for kills per set at 15.05. And they earn those kills with more offensive options than a charcuterie board. Whether it's Shelby Kim, Ella Thompson, Sam Zimmerman, or Emily Planert, the offense is all gas, no brakes. And all this leads to setter Brea LaPlante being 4th in the nation in assists per set at 11.8. Missouri Western, on the other hand, enters the national tournament 21-7, but on a 2-game losing streak, having dropped the last 2 matches to number 5 Nebraska Kearney and number 7 Pittsburgh State. Junior right side Taylor Russell will be the Griffin to watch out for, having put up 301 kills on the season to lead that team. Oh, and that game is on right now, so you can go check it out on the KVSC Sports Stream. And basketball does have the day off today, but both the men's and women's teams were in action on the road Wednesday night against Concordia St. Paul, the Golden Bears. And the men's Huskies team were absolute flamethrowers, shooting 50% from the field, 47% from beyond the arc on their way to a 93-87 victory. Luke Winkle led the way for St. Cloud in the scoring department, finishing with 29 points that included 4 makes from three-point land on just 6 attempts. Kynan Philippe also had it working, shooting 9 of 13 from the field to add to 21 points of his own. And the win was the 3rd straight for the Huskies, who have very quickly turned around their fortunes after a 1-3 start. And now, sitting at 4-3, the team is above 500 for the first time this season. And they will continue their winning ways, hosting Winona State on Saturday. Sadly, the men's team was the only St. Cloud squad that had any success shooting Wednesday night in St. Paul. The women's team shot 31% from the floor, 30% from beyond the arc, and combine that with being out-rebounded 43-32, the Huskies took an ugly loss, 75-50. It particularly got out of hand when a 15-0 run happened for the Bears in the 3rd quarter, and they put that together, and that put a 12-point deficit and ballooned it all the way to a 27-point blowout St. Cloud simply never recovered from. With that loss, the Huskies are 0-2 in NSIC play, but they will get another chance to find their first win at home Saturday against Winona State. The Warriors have been a favorable matchup for the Huskies, having won their last 6 matchups between the 2 clubs. And men's hockey finally returns to the ice this weekend for a rivalry series with North Dakota. The Huskies will come into this series plenty rested. They've played just 2 hockey games over the last 22 days, but they cannot come in needing to knock off any rust because the visitors come in ranked number 6 in the latest polls. One of the keys for both teams will be trying to stay out of the box because each team is ranked top 5 in the nation in power play percentage. And those extra men minutes will be even more important since goals will be at a premium with both teams top 25 in scoring defense. Puck will drop at 7 o'clock on Friday and 6 o'clock on Saturday. And that is all for sports. One final reminder to check out that volleyball game, but do it right after we finish up here on UTVS News, of course.